Well, we're going to talk about something today that is really a cool idea, especially if you have a young dog, a puppy, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months old that has not started blinds yet. This is a fun way to start to develop blinds. Keeping in mind that the way dogs run blinds is basically can be a habit. If you start with a lot of pressure and they begin to get slow, that can become a habit. So right from the beginning, you want a dog to enjoy blinds, have fun with blinds, and to be enthusiastic about it. Now this dog here, Merc, is just 6 months old. He doesn't stop on the whistle. He has had a little bit of fetch to a pile, but he has not had any real force. He doesn't stop on the whistle, but so he doesn't handle. But I'm gonna do we've done this one other day, what we're gonna describe here, and that's beginning single point blind with a dog that doesn't handle, doesn't stop on the whistle, doesn't really do much. He's begun a lot of things, but he's not accomplished at anything. The other thing we're going to do, and it's really cool, is we're going to have the beginning part of an interview with Al Arthur, one of our America's, probably in the world, top trainers. And I've known Al since he was just about that high, and you'll be amazed at what he has to say about dog training. That is going to be featured, the beginning part of it will be right here today. The rest of the message will be on Patreon, and it'll be in the library. Also keep in mind that a lot of this development will be on my video. It's called A Complete Course in Training Young Retrievers. And if you have a young retriever, that's the way to really get them started on the right foot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got 4 bumpers here. You can have 3, you can have 5. It's not an exact science. And I'm just going to walk out. There's a little mound over here, and I'm going to take Merc and walk out there and introduce doing a blind. It's important that there's no pressure in this. Now, I did this day before yesterday for the first time, and already I can see he's looking around. He thinks, I've been here before. So the idea is to develop some beginning blind habits. Hey, sit. So when I put these blinds out, I'm going to start with the cue word, which is dead bird. Dead bird. Sit. Sit. Dead bird. Dead bird. Dead bird. I'm going to use that term a lot. So when I say dead bird, he's got the picture right away. Heel. Fetch. Here. Good. Sit. Good. Sit. Sit. Okay, so I've established that there's a dead bird right here. Okay, come on, let's go. So now I'm going to walk back this way, and I'm not going to make him heel, but I do want him to sort of stick with me. And this is only 10 yards, okay? Sit. Dead bird. Dead bird. Back. Good. Here. Excellent. Heel. Hey, come on. Stick with the classroom here. Sit. I'm allowing him to be a little sloppy right now because this isn't an obedience issue. This is trying to make him think that doing blinds are a kick, really a fun thing. So that's what so I'm now 10 yards away. I'm gonna throw this back out there. Sit. So he gets the real picture of what's going on here. Okay, now I'm gonna walk back. Let's go, buddy. He's all excited because he thinks this is hilarious. Sit. Sit, dead bird. Back. Good. Sit. Out. Sit. Good. All right, come on. So I'm gonna go back. Now I'm changing my angle a little bit, so I'm not just walking back out on the same line. I don't think you want to do that. You want to move, so it's kind of like a fresh situation each time. So I know I'm gonna shift a little bit this way. Heel. Sit. Sit. Ready? Dead bird. Back. Good. Good. Sit. Sit. Out. So, a little review. You can start this. Don't get yourself in a position where he goes off in left field and you have to handle, because this dog, if he did that, he doesn't handle. He doesn't stop on the whistle. He doesn't do anything except he knows what fetch means, and he has enthusiasm, and he's fearless. There's nothing in his life so far that's caused him to be afraid of anything. I did notice he was a little nervous about the vacuum, but other than that, he's not afraid of anything. I've protected him from being afraid. Fearless. We're starting to develop courage. Okay, let's go a little more this way, buddy. Come on. If you have a 6-month-old dog and he doesn't know what fetch means, you've got problems. Here. Heel. Sit. Okay, dead bird now. Ready? Dead bird. Ready. Back. If you have a 2-sided dog, start switching sides right now. Good. Attaboy, good. Good. Sit. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Sit. You know, it's easy to criticize this. And what is he learning? He's learning that blinds are fun. This little exercise also starts to develop memory. It is something that you're developing your cue word of dead bird. You're accomplishing a lot of things under the surface. So I'm going to do one more. Ideally, it could even be visible so they'd look out and see something. Grass is too tall for that right now. So remember, Al Arthur's coming up. Heel. Heel. Here. Heel. Heel. Sit. Good. Dead bird. Back. Good. Attaboy, good. All right. So you've been around field trials and training your entire life, haven't you?
That's my whole life.
I mean, really from day one almost.
Yeah, I learned how to throw a bumper, and then I moved to a pigeon, and then
Right up the
a
line.
duck. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So what was your thought when you were a kid? Did you think you were going to follow in your father's footsteps, or did you think that you wanted to go the opposite direction?
Well, no. At first, there was no way, because that was back before. First of all, there was no four-wheelers. I mean, it was a big deal when we got a three-wheeler, But early in life, walking across the field and no radios, and getting yelled at, and don't yell at me, I'm not yelling at you, No, I didn't want to be a dog trainer. I mean, you're out in the field at probably what I thought was 400 yards, but we're probably only 200 yards. Throw it higher, throw it, and I'm like, whoa. I might have been 10, and this went on 10, 11, 12, 13. So no, at first I said, and I will tell you something that was always funny. We'd come home, and we'd be at the table eating dinner. It would be me, my mother, my dad, and it would be like a conversation, me and my mom, or my dad and my mom. But there was no trio, because I didn't want to talk to him and he didn't want to talk to me. So, so no, at first for a lot of years, no, I didn't want to be a dog trainer.
Did you ever have to carry a bird crate like this with a shotgun on top of it and a box of shells and go out?
No, I didn't have to do the shotgun, but I had the crate. I had the crate. And I can tell you that was and I would get these, when I'd miss a bird, especially those pigeons, and I'd get mad. He goes, if you throw that gun down and break it, I'd hear that from 100 yards. Don't throw that damn gun down. You just kill the bird and let's go. So yeah, it was a love-hate, I guess you'd call it a love-hate relationship.
Did you,
But I tell you, backing it up, you know what kept me going? So at that time we had a lot of club trials. Mm-hmm. And he would let me run a dog in the club trial. And I mean, I think we missed club trials, but I'm a kid and I get to run this dog in a junior puppy or what puppy stake, and I thought that was the greatest thing.
wow, I
can remember this, and I'll always remember, because he was big as me, and I'm itching to go, so I got to run him like in a puppy stake.
And one of the great dogs of all time.
And I thought, you're right, and I thought about him when I was at the Hall of Fame last week. I went and saw, I saw the picture of him. But I got to run him, and I was a little kid, and here he is taking off. I thought that was the greatest thing. So that helped me put up
with some of the negative aspects.
Some would be a nice way of putting it, yeah.
So with this history that you have, how would you define the way things have changed from then till now? How would you describe that to the people who weren't around then?
Yeah, I think it's not just the dogs that have evolved this way. It's just sports and a lot of sports in general. There are so many good dogs, and there's so many good trainers. And there's so many. I mean, we teach so much different. We teach there's not one way to skin a cat.
Exactly. Yeah.
I might think this is the best thing to do. You might think this is the best thing to do. Neither one of them are wrong, but I think the key word is consistency. And we stay, even though Bill Hillman says this is the way I think it should be done. Al Arthur says this is the way. Neither one of them are wrong. And if we stay consistent, the dog, we stay away from that gray area. And I think at one time in life, there was a lot more gray than black and white. And that's why we have so many good dogs.
You just said something that's two really important topics. One is consistency is the most important thing in training. And there's been field champions made every possible way you can dream of, hundreds of them. So nobody's correct, but there's some balance somewhere that makes
somebody a little more successful than somebody else.
I agree, but don't you think, like, you're right. Actually, you make a field champion a lot of different ways. But that field champion wasn't, one day we say, well, he ran around the water, we're going to really dig into him. And then the next day we say, oh, let's let him run around the water, he knows where the mark is. There's no consistency there. But
Beautiful
if
example.
that dog knows why he's getting corrected or what we expect out of it, we put him in these situations to make the right decision, and we do it over and over, and we're consistent. I just think it goes a long way. And I think over the years, the consistency is a lot more to it now. It's a lot more black and white.
What consistency does is develop trust, because the dog knows what to expect and he can count on you. And once that starts to develop, you can trust him, and then you develop this relationship that's so critical to being successful.
I couldn't agree more. Because I think that goes to trust. You know, on something tight, well, I know I can point him right back in there because he's gonna pull off, he's gonna bow a little and keep going. And if there was no trust, he would say, why would I go right back in there? I've just been there. I've always got corrected when I went back and make a big bow. But because we're on the same page, because repetition, he knows what I expect. You know, he goes in there much tighter.
You just said a word that I think is important in training. The word repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. You can't learn anything without repetition, but at some point, maybe you don't need as much of it. What's your thought on, because some trainers say, well, I never repeat. And some say, well, I repeat if it's one of my favorite dogs.
I knew that question was coming. I mean, you can't go anywhere they talk about.
They
do
do,
you
but
repeat?
people need to know this. They have to have a feeling about it, I think.
So I've trained with some trainers, and they say they never repeat. And I said, well, you don't repeat. But we just did that in then again. They go, I don't repeat the whole test. I said, well, now we're just repeating parts of the test. So, here's what,
Beautiful point.
if, I want you, and I want your opinion on this. Say we miss the end say we blow right through it, okay? And we stop, we blow the whistle, he sits. So he did what he was told.
Yeah.
And then we toot, he comes right back and he gets it. Then we put him in the truck. Now in his mind, what did he get out of it? He sat on the whistle, he came in.
Took the cast, yeah, I came in.
I don't mind repeating. Because I want to put them in the same situation and see if they make a better decision. How does I guess I think about this a lot. I mean, I've taught people, I taught hours. I talk about dogs all the time and situations. And I talk to a couple of my dearest friends I talk to it about. But let me ask, if you're a great baseball hitter, you practice all the time. You can't hit the curveball, so you keep practicing the curveball. Well, and you get better by repetition.
Correct.
So if today that dog couldn't get the short retired, and I come back and practice the short retired, I do the same test or the same bird. They say, well, that teaches them to go back. How many times have you heard that? I mean, if they're that good, we probably shouldn't have to repeat. But that's really, that has never made any sense. It teaches them to go back. But I just think to get better, you have to put them in those situations. Let them make the decision. And if they don't do it, we got to keep working until they make a better decision. So personally, I don't have a problem with repeating. Now that doesn't mean, like that pro told me, we don't repeat. We're not repeating the whole test. But yes, situations I think need to be repeated.
That's like Steph Curry saying, well, now that I can make free throws, I don't have to practice anymore.
That's right. That's exactly right.
You don't.
What do you think about that? Repeating.
I love it.
Yeah,
I think, but like you say, if you've got a massive triple out there and they miss a bird, I wanna practice that part of the test. Not necessarily just that bird, but maybe it's a configuration or a concept. Boom, boom. You don't have to do the
right.
long retard or the 40-minute swim to practice the part they didn't get.
That's right.
I relate it to music. If you're playing a song on the piano and you miss a part, you don't have to play the whole song again. You just play that part and then carry through.
That's right. You know, my dad brought up a good point to me one time. He said, old Buck can do a really good long retired, but he can't do a check down bird. I said, you're right. He said, so why would you waste so much time worried about the long retired? Let's practice and probably repeat and focus on what he can't do. We know what he can do, but to get what he can't do better, we need to address it.
Absolutely. Just to use the free throw concept, you know, if you can't do it, you better get back working on it so you can do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you can't go into your basketball thing, a lot of people can do they're right-handed, they can do a right-handed layup. Well, why are we going to we know you can do a right-handed layup, let's work on the left hand where you can't do it, you know?
And where you have to be able to do it when it counts.
When it counts.
Yeah. The John Wooden story about when he was the top coach in history.
Right.
And he got all these great kids from all over America and they're hitting from half court. He says, come here, buddy. 500 straight from the right side. Oh, you can do that. Now 500 with the left side. You've got to be able to make that shot when it counts.
When it counts.
And it's the same in a field trial, or especially when you're at a national. You've got to make the shot. And you can't, and you want to know you can make it. You want to have your own confidence, which goes back to the dog having confidence from you.
Right, and that goes back to the word trust. And that goes, I think repetition can go in there because the more you do something, the more the dog and you bond and they believe in each other. You believe in him, he believes in you.
And it stands to reason. You know, if you take something a dog can't do, like jump over a log, and you do it 50 times, or cutting a corner of water, you do it 50 times, you're going to say, he can do it. He can do it. Not only can he do it, but he's in the habit of doing it. He's done it so many times, he doesn't think, oh, should I run around? He just does it because it's his habit. And you can't create a habit without repetition.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you're right, and it becomes second nature.
Yeah.
So that's a prime example. So today, let's say you ran 50 yards, you had to angle in the water, swim 20 and get a bird. The dog runs around. You stop, you cast, you come back. Now why, as a handler, why wouldn't I turn around and do that right there again? Okay, I just showed you how to do it. I stopped, handled, we worked through it. Now, I don't think that's teaching him to go back if I turn around and do that single again. I'm hoping he goes and does it right. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, you don't have to do it another time.
Because I would turn around and do it another time.
Until they understand it.
Exactly.
And the idea of we are out to train dogs, right?
Right.
And we find out something they don't know how to do. That's why we came to training.
That's correct.
To teach them how to do something they can't do. So why just brush over it and do something they can do and leave that behind? That's the point you're making, and it's a splendid point that people do not make. When I talk to trainers, they don't make that point.
Well, you know, it's like
they should.
Well, just like we talked about, and my dad said, well, if he can't do a short retired, why are we so focused on the long retired? We got to address where there's a hole.
Exactly, and it's why we show up at training. It's not just to run tests; it's to discover what they need work on.
Oh, I mean, I think a dog that blows right through the short bird. I don't know why I was stuck on the short bird, and then you keep your training, the repetition, the repeating, whatever you want to call it. But then you get to the point, 10, 15 yards short of that short retired, you see that tail come up.
And then then you're happy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that has nothing to do about winning the field trial, but you know that hard work, that grind, that repeating, I'll say, that makes you feel really good.
I know, and I guess it's why a lot of us keep training.
I think so.
That feeling of teaching and then seeing the dog do what you've taught it is
I agree.
wonderful.
The seeing, you know, you work on it, you talk about it. I'm sure at times I talk to myself about it, mumble to myself. But when you see the success and you see all that pay off, that, I mean, this is really rewarding.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me what you think of this. I heard your dad one time told me, he said, the other part of training isn't so much what to do, but what not to do.
Oh, yeah.
Do you recall him saying that?
I'm sure he's told me what I should, yeah, probably multiple times. But I do agree with that. I mean,
They have to know that.
they have to know that. And I don't know. I would wonder, a big tough water quad, do they actually remember 4 birds? You know, I'm sure at times they do. But I think it's so many times we put them in those, well, we've gone here, we need to stay in past this gun. Because of the situations we put them in to make the right decisions, and they trust you where to go and not to go, I think they learn what not to do. And because of what not to do,
That
they
means an
turn
option.
to what to do.
Exactly.
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, they don't know where to go. You know, they picked up a bird over here, they picked up a bird over here, they picked up a bird. Now we got to go for that 4th bird. Well, we hopefully have eliminated 3 of them. They've been there. He's working me here. There's a pond. We know we should get in the water. We know we can't go back. Yeah, I agree with that on
Yeah.
what not to do.
Yeah, and that's also part of experience. You know, a lot of these older dogs, you know, if you get to the discussion of head swinging, a lot of them head swing. But they still get those birds, don't they?
Absolutely.
And that's experience and understanding what not to do and what's left to do.
I agree. But I will tell you, you know, about that head swinging, but I think you can tell a handler if you watch them, those good handlers, experienced handlers, they know that dog's gonna head swing. But we're talking about that, you know, it's the how much time they focus on each gun. Because they know if he can remember where that gun stood, you know,
Right.
we can get that bird.
Because they know it's somewhere right around where that gun was.
Exactly.
One side or the other, but it's out there.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. There's another thing that I can tell right now about you.
Is this real or not real?
This is real.
All right, I want to think about it. All right,
You are open-minded about somebody's opinion on these topics. And I think many of the younger trainers are less knowledgeable than they think they are, and they're not willing to learn from people that have experience. One of the reasons for our conversation is to show that there's a lot of information that is available to people that they need to figure out how to get some of it. And experience it's invaluable, you know. And I'm looking at you, your whole life is dedicated to learning how to do this. Some of the younger people ought to be trying to figure out some of those things.
Yeah, but don't you think some of that goes back to it's got to, I mean, you got to be open-minded, but if you're going to do it and you want to be well, and you want to be the best you possibly can, you've got to accept that's your lot. I mean, that's your lifestyle. It's more than dog training.
Right. It's the way you are.
That's it. And I think some of the people I run across today, and I'm not saying it in a negative way, it's a job, you know, they like it. They do like it. But I think you got to love it.
It's got to be a passion.
That's absolutely.
Yeah.
And at 5 o'clock, and this dog won't stay, you know, at 5 o'clock, I know it's 5 o'clock, but you know, this dog's been, we need to do a little something. Doesn't matter if it's 5, time can't come into the picture now. We got to get the best out of this dog that's had a problem all day. You know, maybe we quit, we're done. Look, let's go do some walking singles. We can't put him back in the box
the way he is right now.
Right. I mean, we got to be better. Even though it's 5 o'clock in my job, but that's where I think it comes a difference when a job and your life.
To me, that's really a beautiful point. And it's not having a certain number of dogs that you can make a living with. It's having the passion to figure this out and to go into that extra dimension in the little dog's head, how to make him give you the best he's got.
I agree.
And it's not easy.
I know what it means to lack, and I know what it means to experience overwhelming abundance. For I'm trained in the secret of overcoming all things, whether in fullness or in hunger. And I find that the strength of Christ's explosive power infuses me to conquer every difficulty. This is from Paul's letter to the Philippians.